Facebook always does me a dirty when it saves the thumbnail, so now I've done it for myself. All right, we're gonna cook some dinner. We've got so much to talk about. We're going to cook with some lentils today. We're going to use some Paris Bistro seasoning and some ramen seasoning. We're going to make something super fast, super easy because it's 8:30 and I don't have dinner, and that's because I had to run to town today for a second time. There's a whole thing. Hey Alita, how are you? Nice to see you. So I want to know what you had for dinner, because most of you have eaten. Well, I guess this coast has eaten. The other coast is pretty much ready for dinner. So I want to know what you had for dinner or what you're having for dinner. I want to know in the comments. And I want to know how many people have lentils. So we're going to be cooking with lentils tonight because I'm still on Fresh Frugal February and I got to be frugal. I haven't got a lot of budget left for the next 3 weeks. So lentils are another super cheap meal. Tonight my ingredients are like $1 maybe. I've got a cup of lentils. I have got some squash, and this is a squash that came from BC with me. It's a delicata squash, which is one of my favorites. I still have like 5 delicata squash in the cupboard. So if you grow them big enough and you cure them, they'll store nicely. So I cooked that in the steamer. We're going to use that. I'm going to use some spinach, my giant container of spinach from Costco. You know, when you go to Costco, you have to, and I have to eat spinach every day, right? So I wanted to, oh, you had the falafels tonight, yay! Sauce ideas, you know what? I would just totally go with the classic tzatziki sauce with your falafel, some cilantro if you've got it, maybe a tahini sauce, breaded pork chops, sweet potatoes, and salad. Yum! I want to know what everybody's having for dinner tonight, or if you've already eaten, I want to know what you had. I was meant to start my microwave like 10 minutes ago when I prepped my rutabaga / turnip if you're a newfie, my onions, and something else. Oh, a piece of carrot. So I threw that in, and I meant to start it and then I came to take it out to show you that I started it, and I didn't start it. So we're gonna do that. Lasagna soup, yum. So you know what I'm gonna cook with tonight? We're gonna use Paris Bistro because that's the special this month only. And we're gonna use ramen because who says there's rules and that ramen can only be made one way? It's the most delicious, rich, amazing broth that Epicure has, and I don't buy into rules because that's bull. There are no rules, except there are no rules. That's the only rule. So I'm gonna use ramen broth with my lentils, because why wouldn't I? Oh yeah, you're getting ready for dinner up in Alaska. Okay, so let's get going. The first thing I want to tell you is why I'm eating dinner, starting to cook dinner at 8:30 at night. So this is just an example of my world. Some of you saw this on my personal Facebook today. Let's prep. I have nothing to prep because I was waiting for the food. So let's just tell you a story while I'm waiting to prep. So I went to town yesterday to donate plasma. I couldn't because of, you know, whatever. I couldn't donate plasma. So I was like, oh, while I'm in town, I'm not gonna like waste a trip, so I'm gonna go to Costco. I always have an app going in Costco, things that I need. I opened my app and was like, oh, good thing I came to Costco. I need my medication for tonight. I'm completely out. Oh, good thing I came in here. So I go to the counter, get my meds ordered. There's no meds. I go to pick up. There's no meds. I had them transferred from BC, but the one that I needed, the renewal had expired. So then I wait. I talk to the pharmacist. They go through the whole thing. She looks up my records, yada, 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 because I always did business at Costco in Kelowna. She could look up my history. She's like, yeah, we'll get you 3 months of meds. Come back in 40 minutes. Great. I beetled right over to the amazing leather furniture. If you got $4,000 laying around and you want like a rounded sectional, that thing is money. Like, I seriously, the 40 minutes, about 35, flew past. Like, I did not even realize, because it was so comfy, I could have stayed there forever, okay? Go get yourself a couch. But anyway, so I get up and I'm like, yeah, my timer, let's go get the meds. And as I'm walking, I see cheese and I'm like, oh, right. I needed to get cheese for my Costco friend with benefits. She needed cheese to go with the cauliflower we're splitting. So then I like deedle over, get my cheese, and what do I do next, people? Who's distracted among us? I want to see show of hands. Who are the distracted among us? My God. So I go to the till and I check out. And I drive 45 minutes home. That's what I do. Because, you know, I waited 40 minutes for the meds and left without them because I got distracted by the cheese. The other thing I realized today, as I realized at 9 p.m. last night, after like the whole song and dance, like asking the pharmacist, I can't live without them, I need to have them today, I can't get a prescription, can you fill them for me? You know, I friggin' left without them. So, anyway, today as I go to make breakfast, I realize, you know, A, gotta go back and get the meds. B, I have no berries. I didn't put the berries in the cart because they would have melted, and then I forgot to get them when I got derailed by the cheese. So, you know, it doesn't matter how many like notes I have in my phone. Oh, anyway, so today I made the hour-and-a-half round trip again to go back to Costco, because, you know, at $1.56 a liter, an hour-and-a-half round trip is nothing, right, folks? Anyway, okay, I think my microwave beeped. Okay. Yeah, like anybody that would do that, you are my people. I'm sorry that you are my people, but we are each other's people. Derailed by cheese. Okay, so let me just check. Oh, those are still chewy. Let's put that back in for a minute. Okay, in here, we have a carrot. I had like a stub of carrot. I had some rutabaga / turnip. And I have an onion. So that needs more time because I originally was going to cook it for 5 minutes. So, we're going to come back to that, okay? Let's talk about Epic Box. I want to show of hands who's had a subscription box for anything in the past. Thanks, Vicki. Who's had a subscription box to anything? And how many, do you guys know there's subscription boxes for underwear? Underwear. How cool is that? And socks. You get like a new pair of socks and a new pair of underwear every week. I mean, every month. Like you could just throw your shit away if you wanted. Like that exists. There's like razor things. There's diapers. Anyway, this is a whole new world for me. The subscription box world is like OMG. I am so excited about this. So Epicure is launching a subscription called Epic Box. Now I need to see some love because every time Epicure does something, it's freaking epic and we know that. So this, oh, you're on the list, yay! So if you haven't gotten yourself on a list yet, if you're a consultant, you need to get this subscription. I'm going to get the subscription to the Epic Box. You know how many times I go into my cupboard and I'm out of something? I can go in there and I'm going to have at least 7 options every month to make a quick dinner. So I went to my cupboard right now and I only have 7 options in my cupboard that are not opened. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I have that maybe this is what your Epic Box could look like sometime in the future. You won't know. It's like an Ipsy box. It just shows up and it's delicious stuff and you just discover, okay? So this is what I have in my cupboard that I'll be cooking with in the next week or so. Tropical pineapple chicken, right there, tropical pineapple chicken. Enchilada, okay. We got to get some enchilada love here. You all know that this is one of the best things on earth. If you haven't had the enchilada yet, your life is very sad and missing out. You must get this. Like, come on, where's some hearts for my enchilada? Anybody else obsessed? I know my whole customer group is obsessed. There you go. Okay, one of you, come on, you can do better than that. This stuff, enchilada, is amazing. Okay, then there we go. Then hollandaise, right? Oh my gosh, my customer group has been flooded with hollandaise pictures lately because everybody is in love saying it's so much better than all the other ones they've tried. Woo, woo. Okay, hollandaise. Sweet garlic chicken, right? What about some sweet garlic chicken? How amazing is that? You can do all sorts of things with that. It's also the very best popcorn on earth. We're not even done yet, folks. I still have more packages. And this could just show up to your door every single month. You could absolutely do the enchiladas vegetarian. The recipe's actually vegetarian. And you know what? I mean, what I cook is 90% plant-based. So when I'm making the enchiladas, they're totally vegetarian. Alfredo. So I used this last night. I used cashew milk. Okay? I used cashew milk and I made the Alfredo and I topped it with buffalo cauliflower and better than bacon. I mean, how delicious is that? General Tao. General Tao, like the most popular takeout. Look at the kind of flavors that Epicure has. And there's some really like more basic stuff, but that's not what I have in my pantry most of the time. I have like the funky, neat, unique ones. Honey garlic meatballs. So this is just 7 of the potential 35 or 40 different meal solutions that can arrive at your door every single month for only $35. Now it's not just the meal solutions. That $35 includes your shipping and includes in a dessert. So the dessert I happen to have in my house is the lemon curd. It also includes a dip mix sampler and it includes a surprise. This is crazy. And if you get like a 6-month or a 12-month subscription, you get like a month free or something. Like it's crazy. So if you're one of my customers, message me and tell me you want to get on the list for when it launches because you want to be first. Like I need to be the very first person that signs up. Who doesn't want to be first? So, and whoever your consultant is, message them and tell them you want to be on that list because everybody needs this Epic box. It's going to make meal planning so easy, and there's going to be like a QR code you can just scan for all of your recipes, including recipes that aren't on the package to give you other ideas because not everybody eats the same way, aka me, right? I'm using the meal solutions all the time, but I don't think I've ever done what the package says. Okay, our veggies are done. Okay, that was Epic Box. Okay, so make sure you're getting onto that list. Okay, we're gonna call these done. Now, I have got a cup of washed lentils, okay? Lentils, you need to rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse. Trying to get away from the steam. Just give yourself a sauna. Okay, lentils need to be rinsed a whole lot. Look at this. Like, I can hold this thing and I'm not getting burned. Like, how is a steamer not the most magical thing everybody's ever owned? Because you can do this and not hurt yourself. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, distracted again. What a shocker. So, you really want to rinse your lentils, and then I'm going to just go add about 3 cups of water, maybe 3.5 to my lentils. The reason I rinse them in my multi-pot is because it's super easy to pour out, and I can see how much water I need to put in. So if you're new here and you haven't yet told us what you had for dinner or what you're having for dinner, I need you to pop that in the comments, and I'm just going to go grab some more water. Sorry, I couldn't have done this earlier because I would have picked the pot up and swirled it around and made a giant mess. Okay, so we have got right now 5 cups total, so that's going to be my 4 cups of water-ish. Yeah, you know what? I don't cook anything on the stove anymore unless I'm frying. I fry a lot of things. I love that. But anything that needs to boil, I am gonna boil it over. You guys, I am the queen of boiling stuff over because hella distracted, right? And it doesn't matter if I set a timer. You know what happens when the timer goes off? I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. And then I turn it off. I seriously turn turn it off. I don't know about me sometimes, but that's why we're not going to do that. The great thing is when you know what your limitations are, you just work around them, okay? So now, squash. I cooked this in the steamer. I'm going to show you something in a minute, but I'm just going to like mash my squash up a little bit with my ground meat separator. I don't want to do that in the pot because it's super liquidy and it would be even more messy and I wouldn't get as good of a chop. So I'm just going to give my squash a quick little chop up. This was a squash that I put in chunks like this. I just chopped the whole squash into chunks, popped it in the steamer, popped the lid on, and I don't even remember how long I cooked it. I think I would do like 5 or 10 minutes at a time and then check it. I don't remember. It was a few days ago. Okay, so we're gonna put some squash in here because I need vegetables, right? I can't just have lentils. That's not a complete meal and I wanna have everything in one bowl. So in we go with my squash to beef up my vegetables, so to speak. And then this whole thing is just gonna go back in the microwave. Now, it's not gonna be done in the time that you're here, because gosh, we're not gonna be here that long. It's only gonna take 10 minutes, but we should be done before then. I think it's gonna take 10 minutes, I don't know. But anyway, we gotta go in with seasonings. That's not coming out. You know what? Sometimes your Epicure blends might chunk up a little bit. And you know what? When you see that, your response, instead of being like, oh my God, it's chunky, should be, oh yeah, baby, it's chunky. That means there's no shit in my jar because, you know, we don't put that in there. So you might get a little chunk every now and then. You got it? Okay. So we're gonna put in some ramen. Who's had the chunks in the jar? I know the first time I was like, but nope, it's a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. And then we're gonna go in with some Paris Bistro. You know, that's how we're gonna measure that. That looks like enough, and if it isn't, when it cooks up a little bit and I taste it, then we add more. Now I know I'm gonna need a little bit of salt because, you know, salt. So my favorite salt, you'll notice here, this does not look like herbed garlic salt. It is actually herbed garlic salt with chili flakes and garlic added to it because I love a little hit of chili flakes every chance I get. So, boom. So that's about a half teaspoon of salt. Okay, we're gonna put the lid on, we're gonna put this away, and then I'm gonna tell you about the most amazing thing that I did and how I did it. It's a game changer, people. We're gonna put 5 minutes. So we're gonna put 5 minutes so that I can taste it and I can add more seasonings if need be. Now, I started listening. I'm a book reader by Audible. Once I discovered Audible, I have not, I think I've read a paper book in forever because I love that I can be exercising or stretching or hiking or exploring, listening to a book at the same time. I mean, how is that not the best of both worlds? So if you don't have yourself books or podcasts yet to pipe into your head, oh my God. Anyway, you want to add the 5-second rule. Who's heard of it? I mean, not the eat the food off the floor 5-second rule, but the book by Mel Robbins. Has anybody heard of that book? Show of hands or hearts or loves. Anybody ever read it? One person so far has heard of the 5-second rule that isn't the eat the food off the floor. And there we go. So, amazing book. I want to tell you all right now. It seems so simple. Go get the book. Get the book. So, I have had a very bad, unhealthy habit for, I'm thinking 6, 7, I don't know how many years, a lot, way more than 4. So, for 4 years, hang on, I'm getting all hot and bothered again. God, you guys do this to me all the time. Okay. Whew. Now, got my great hair from being out in the pouring rain. It was pouring today. Anyway, so for 4+ years, every single time I left my home in the country or I was in the city, any city for any reason, every single time I was in the city, I would go to Tim Hortons and get an iced cap. It would be rare that I got one iced cap. I would go to Tim Hortons and get 2 iced caps sometimes. Who's had an iced cap and who knows how incredibly delicious those suckers are. I had my first one on the last day of my 39th year because I was told by somebody I love, hey, go try something you've never tried. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll go try an iced cap because I hate coffee. I'm not gonna enjoy that, so let me go do that. Well, game over. 4 years, I've gone and got an iced cap every single time I go to town. Sometimes twice a day. If I was in town for hours, I would go 3 times. I invented my Epicure iced cap smoothie for the days I couldn't go to town. But when I would go to town, I would still get one. Yesterday, I went to town. I got one. I've never gone to Halifax and made a run for errands and got one. Like, I know that might seem ridiculous to people, but this is my thing. You know, like the people that go to Starbucks every day, but an ice cap has the calories of like an entire freaking meal, loaded with sugar, and God knows what else. I refuse to look at the ingredients. Anyway, I used the 5-second rule yesterday as I was like turning into the ice cap parking lot for the second one in like 2 hours because I drink ice cap the entire time I'm driving. I used the 5-second rule to like get the heck out of there. And today when I went to Costco, I was like trying to justify all the reasons why I needed an ice cap. Like, I've got things for other people. Well, that should justify one. I realized if I want to have one, I'm going to have one. I don't need to justify one, but I didn't need one. And I came home and finished the rest of my water bottle, and I drank water on the whole drive. Now, I think that deserves some freaking love, because if you've ever been obsessed with something that you had not done every single day, an iced cap is like a frozen slushy coffee that's like full of calories and full of crap and super obsessive and delicious. So think like Frappuccino type thing. So I'm really proud of that. That's 2 days in a row. So I think that's a habit broken. So I'm pretty impressed with myself. Okay, our soup's cooking. I want to show you a little magic, 2 little magic things. Thank you, Karen. So this cilantro, couple of weeks now, people, okay? It's been a couple of weeks that it's been in my fridge. Ooh, I have a cool echo. Anyway, the cilantro's been around for a couple of weeks. It's still great, and that's because I have it in an airtight, sealed jar. There's no water in the bottom. When I get my cilantro, I rinse it under cold water. I cut the ends off so it fits in the jar. I make sure there's nothing grody in there. Every 4 or 5 days, you know, however often I use cilantro, I open it up, I look and see if there's any that are starting to get a bit icky, turning yellow. I throw those away. And here I am weeks down the road with the same bunch of cilantro. I think I bought this about January 18th, maybe? So that's a fair amount of time from January 18th. So anyway, squash. See, I was going to talk about squash and then I saw cilantro. This is like every day in my world. And it's been 10 minutes. No, that's only 5 minutes. Oh my God, I thought I was talking for 10. Okay, let's check this. I just want to check the seasonings. Where's my spoon? The lentils won't be cooked yet, but I want to see if it needs more because this is a large amount of soup. And I am going to puree this up at the end. Oh, the lentils are actually coming along nicely. Hang on. I know that if I eat the non-properly cooked lentils, that I will be gassy. And I don't want to experience that. Okay, so I need more. I only had probably a little bit of rum and put a little bit more of that. Okay, there we go. That's going back in. I'm going to show you my squash and then we're done. I think I covered everything. Okay, so cut your squash into hunks. I actually cut my squash in half. Sorry, little lentil. I actually cut my squash in half and then put it in the steamer to soften so I could easily cut it into chunks because that made it a lot easier to cut. But I cooked it the other day. Watch, I'm just gonna use the back side of my knife, and there's my skin. There's my perfectly cooked steamed squash that I can now do whatever with. I can roast this. I'm actually gonna chop this up and I'm gonna use it in the carrot cake mix instead of carrots, because why not, right? So, and I can do the same one with this. I'm just gonna go down, use the back of my knife around the back, and I have another easy peasy peeled piece of squash. You do your sweet potatoes the same way. The skin just peels right off the sweet potatoes after they're cooked. Okay, so when my soup comes out, I'm gonna go in with the immersion blender a little bit, not like totally, I don't wanna puree it. And then I'm gonna hit it with some sauteed onions that are gonna sit with some Paris Bistro. Let's get this onto one. My sauteed onions cooked way more than I had intended. You know, I forgot about them. Even though they were like right here and I was right here. Anyway, you know. I'm gonna put a little oil in there. So I'm just making a little luscious oil because, hello Isabel. So you wanna have like a nice luscious herby oil to pour over your lentils at the end. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna add a little chili flakes and garlic in that because I really want some heat. Just a second. Because there's no heat in the lentils. And I'm really feeling it today. Woo, that's a lot. Yeah, whoopsie. Wasn't really paying attention there. I was thinking about the open cupboard door behind me. Ooh, baby. So I'm gonna add a little bit more oil because it's gonna have to be used more sparingly. Because did you see how much I put in there? That's like all chili flakes. Good God. Okay, well, I have to close that door. There we go. So this will just warm through. It will be luscious. It'll probably burn my nostrils because of how much chili I put in there. I'll just put it on one, and then it'll all go together with some spinach. This is not part of this. This is going in the freezer for another meal, and some fresh cilantro. Okay? So that's how we're going to finish that off. And did I have anything else to tell you guys? No, I think that was it. So that's a lot. Epic Box, hello Michigan. Epic Box, I didn't eat an ice cap 2 days in a row after 4 years of eating an ice cap every freaking day. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay? So, if you like this sort of distracted, real-time cooking, where I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna talk about something, and then I'm gonna like veer off over here and talk about something else, and then veer back because I remember. If you like that, come back and see me again. I'm here every Thursday at 7:30, cooking whatever I'm gonna cook for dinner, whether it's gonna be plant-based, it's always gonna have some Costco, it's always gonna have some Epicure. Go and look at, I've got a post coming up later with what I've made this week, but seriously, like 90% of what I eat is Costco and Epicure. So I'm always going to talk about the ways to keep your food stored well, because I'm a household of one, and how much Costco can a family of one eat? Oh, I have a new Costco find I want to share with you. Hang on. Just a minute. I made this last night. Can you read it? Chickpea. Chickpea. It just sounds fun to say. Gotta get some chickpea. So this has 23 grams of protein, which is like, that's a shit ton of protein, you guys. 23 grams of protein for 1/10 of the package. This doesn't swell up like regular pasta, so you can eat 1/10 of the package. It's actually only a cup of pasta, well, a cup and a bit. Yeah, it's just, of course, it's gluten-free, which is why I'm eating it. Chickpea flour, lentil flour, that's easy. Chickpea. It was on sale this week. So if you're going into Costco this week, you can try it on sale for cheap. I really like it. I was happy with it. So, you know, because I need to eat gluten-free, so that really makes it a little easier. So, welcome to the Costco with Epicure cooking show. As one of my regular watchers said, like, is that the only thing you cook with? And I'm like, oh yeah. Like, I haven't been to another grocery store since I bought cilantro 3 weeks ago. I have shopped 4 times, and every single time it's been at Costco. So there you go. come back on Thursday for more Costco, things from my garden, and Epicure. Oh, let's see if it's done. You're never getting away from me. Good God, why am I still talking? It's been a half an hour. Why are any of you still here? Oh, Epic! The epic, big, huge class. How could nobody reminded me? Next Wednesday, the 15th, you really want to come to the epic class that Amelia's doing. Amelia, the CEO of Epicure, she's not going to go in 42 directions and get lost. And she's fantastic. So you really have to come to this event. It's on the 15th. She's doing a cooking class. And if you haven't hosted a class like this month, get on it. Because right now, when you have a $500 cooking class, which is the company average, and around my average, a little higher. So if you haven't had a class this month, you can have a $500 cooking class and get $150 of all of this deliciousness in your own house as a result, and your friends are going to eat better and they're all going to thank you. So you can just host in the epic class. So you can just like be a host for the huge class that Amelia's doing, the easiest hosting you ever did. So talk to your consultant or me if you don't have a consultant, and we'll get you hooked up. And yeah, I'm just going to puree this up a little bit, and then I'm going to post some photos in the comments and watch for my dinner post later today. You'll see what I ate for the last 6 days. I don't know how much money I have left in my challenge, but I've got 3 weeks to go. 3 weeks to go in my Fresh February challenge. So I'll keep you posted. Thanks for joining me. Now I'm finally going to let you go. Bye, everyone.